Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, here we are with the great Manny Robles. Thank you so much for your time again,
Thank you for
Coach
having
Manny.
me, man.
Just a couple weeks ago now. Has it been a couple weeks already?
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Time is
Going on 2
flying.
weeks.
Time is flying. Wilder Fury 2. You know, I kind of want to get your thoughts on that, and then obviously on your own fighter, Charles Martin, who won in the co-main event.
Correct.
But what did you think of that fight between Wilder and Fury?
Great fight. I don't think it disappointed anybody. I, for one, had it the other way around. I had, if anybody was going to knock anybody out, I had Wilder knocking off Fury.
Yeah.
But if it went to a decision, I had Fury winning by decision.
Yeah.
And, you know, Fury went out there and shocked the world, and he did with the unexpected, which is to go out there and dominate.
For sure.
Dominate Deontay Wilder from beginning to end, and eventually got the knockout.
And you know, he really pressed the action, which I think surprised a lot of people. I feel like that's something that, you know, maybe a school of boxing that you sort of espouse, you know, when we look at, you know, the Ruiz versus Joshua fight. I mean, he was pushing forward. Your guys tend to come forward. Is that something that you thought would be effective against Wilder going forward like that?
Definitely. I mean, it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. The extra weight, him, you know, keeping his word and going out there, and obviously he said he'd knock him out in 2 rounds. It took him a little longer than that, but he did just that. He went out there and dominated, took that right hand away from Deontay, and did the unexpected, you know, which is to stop him in, what was that, 6, 7 rounds?
Yeah.
So that's good.
What is it about that strategy that's got people surprised? Because, I mean, I guess typically people think of a guy with a big right hand, you know, circle away from the power. How is it for people that don't understand? Was Tyson able to negate that right hand by going forward?
By going forward and not giving him the space, not giving him the distance to set up the right hand. Take the distance away from him and press. How does he throw the right?
Right.
You take the right hand away from Deontay, you take away 90% of his arsenal. So,
For sure.
You know.
It looks like he's invoking this rematch clause. You know, what do you think? I mean, do you think anything different can happen here?
Well, I don't know. You know what they say in boxing, you're only as good as your last fight. You know, Buddy McGirt made a comment, and he couldn't have put it any better. What Deontay Wilder needs is a teacher. He doesn't need a coach, he needs a teacher.
No.
He needs somebody that can teach him, but he needs time. In order to teach somebody, you need the time, and that's something that they don't have. If they're looking for a direct rematch, then it's going to take a little longer than that to get them ready. But you know, they got to do what they got to do, and if that's what they're looking for, then that means he's got to be ready. He's got his back against the wall, and he pretty much doesn't have a whole lot of time. Because I'm sure if it happens, it's going to happen during the summer, maybe the fall. So that's not a lot of time.
I mean, I was thinking if I were to advise Wilder, maybe take another fight, learn a little bit in the interim, but I mean, he's jumping right back into this.
Yeah, correct. So it's better for Fury if it happens right away. But we'll see. I mean, he's not Deontay, with all due respect, he's not a boxer.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think he's someone that can change a whole lot.
Right,
like I said, he needs a teacher, unless you get somebody to teach him. But if not, you're gonna see the same fighter. I don't think you see anything different from Deontay. You can expect something different from Fury though, because he's a smarter fighter. He's a better boxer of the two. So you know, he can make changes, definitely.
Do you think Wilder can do anything, like at this point with his age? You know, could he do?
Yeah, absolutely. You never stop learning in this game, but you need time. Like you said, maybe take 1 or 2 fights before fighting Tyson Fury. But I don't think that's gonna happen. I think they're gonna go straight into the rematch. You gotta make that money, man. Well, you can get it while it's hot.
Would it be a bad idea, you think, for Wilder to reach out to Manny Robles, see if he can help him out with a few things?
I don't know. You know, I got my own thing going on, but if he does call, sure. You know. Some fighters, it's hard for certain fighters to leave their comfort zone.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard for me to leave too. You know, I got a lot going on here, so it's hard for me to get up and leave. But you never know, man.
well, it's tough to be a coach, and I say that because, you know, Mark Breland was in his corner. He threw in that towel. He made the decision.
Did the right thing. If you think about it, he did the right thing. I mean, a lot of I think Deontay and the other coach, I don't know what his name is. JD's. I think I'm not quite sure what happened, but I think they held it against him. But he did the right thing, man. He was
Yeah.
getting hurt. He was bleeding out of his ear, and he's getting hurt, getting hammered. So yeah, man, you live to see another day.
Yeah,
A lot of times, I mean, that's your fighter, man. I mean, that's you as a coach. You're there to protect the fighter as well. And if you see that things don't happen to be going your way, if you're not gonna win the fight unless you knock the guy out, but then you're showing that you don't have anything left in you. You have no choice but to stop the fight. I believe he did the right thing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of big fights, looks like one of your guys, Charles Martin, right back at the top.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful performance against Gallo Negro. Took him out, How did you feel about that
I
fight?
felt great. Gotta be happy being the co-main event is such a great card. Pay-per-view event, sold out arena, KMG and Grand, and having to be the co-main. I mean, it was great. And I always say that it's not winning, it's how you win, how you get the job done. So I'm very pleased with the way, happy but yet not satisfied because we still got a long way to go. And the way he got things done, the way he looked in the fight, and obviously he eventually got the knockout was great.
Yeah, and that was an IBF eliminator, correct?
IBF eliminator. So now we get hopefully soon we get a shot at the world title.
I wanted to ask you because, the last time I saw Charles Martin, I mean, personally speaking, I didn't think he looked as good as he looked against Gallo Negro.
You said it. You need time. Like Deontay, he needs time. He needs a couple fights.
Yeah.
You probably need 2 or 3 fights before you can see a real difference. So you need time. With Charles, luckily, I've had a year and a half now, going on 2 years of working with him. So now, 3 or 4 fights later, you're able to see something different from Charles, a better fighter.
He looked more technical and he looked more sturdy. What improvements, I mean, that's based on my perspective, what improvements have you seen from him, and do you think he can continue to get better?
Absolutely. You never stop learning in this game. I say ring generalship, as I always say. It's being a complete fighter, defensively minded, but also offensively minded at the same time, balance and fundamentals and mechanics, and just repetition.
Yeah.
You're able to see it in the ring.
How far can Charles go?
I don't know. It's really up to the fighter, and it's tough out there because you're fighting at a high level. Every opponent is a tough opponent. There's no such thing as easy. So, but I think that the better the opponents, the more they bring out of you. So, I think he's ready. I think he's up to the task now, and it was a title eliminator, so obviously he's got to be ready. We get a shot at the title. That could be Anthony Joshua. Man. We've got to be ready for him.
What I loved about the fight is, he ended it, I believe it was like the 8th round, something like that. He ended it 7th round, and he it seemed to me like he slipped a jab, he landed a counter, and he finished the fight like that. Yeah, and his technique continued to hold up into the middle and later part of the fight. I mean, any comments on that?
No, it's just, knockouts always come on their own. I like the way he took it one round at a time and not feel pressured, just letting it come, round by round. You find an opportunity to let go of the opportunity that he found. It's all about reaction, it's all about timing, and just he found a crack.
Yeah.
And so, it worked. He slipped the jab, came over the top with that left hand, and got the knockout.
And what's next?
Now, what's next? Getting them back in the gym, getting them ready again. If we don't get a crack at the title right away, then what we're going to end up doing is maybe possibly get, 1-2 more fights before we get an opportunity to fight for the world title. We just don't know. But now we're there. Now we're the mandatory now. So it's just a matter of staying busy, staying in the gym, and continue to work, continue to grow, and then we get that phone call. Let's go.
I feel like it'd be a lot of fun to see Wilder and Charles Martin fight.
He's a different fighter. We all know that Charles Martin already fought Anthony Joshua. We fought him when he defended the world title. He lost the fight to Joshua.
But he looks different now.
He's a different fighter now.
Yeah.
Definitely. He's definitely not the same fighter He's a much more mature fighter. He's grown a lot mentally, physically. So you can expect to see a better fighter this second time around.
One more thing. You were my special guest at FightersRep 9.
That's right. That's a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you, man. We really appreciate having somebody like you at the kickboxing event, you know, showing a little cross support from boxing, you know.
That's right, yeah.
What did you think of the event?
Amazing. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. What's the name of that kid that really impressed me? What's the name of this kid?
Was it Anderson Silva's son, Gabe Silva?
Son is freaking amazing.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, he's got that kid's got a lot of talent. Yeah. He can be a boxer. Straight out, he can be a boxer. He's got a lot of mad skills, man. Man, he's very good. He impressed me a lot. Out of all the fighters that fought that night, I think he was the best one.
You know, and that's interesting you say that because he's actually getting performance of the night for his performance.
Impressive.
So
very impressive. Like I said, it's not winning; it's how you win. It's how you get the job done. So I was very impressed by the way his behavior, by his demeanor, the way he got. You know, he went in that ring. It just pretty much took control, and he was so relaxed.
Yeah.
So poised and relaxed, and he knew exactly what he was doing. So I commend him for it.
Awesome. Yeah, we definitely had a lot of fighters there that are interested in working with Manny Robles, is what I'm hearing. So, but you know, thank you again, Manny. We really appreciate your time, and it's always awesome having you on the channel, brother.
Thank you for having me.
All right.